Smooth cat.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious.
I feel I'm the best ever. I broke everybody's record. Tell me who record I haven't broke.
Colossal Boxing Talk.
How's it going? This is the homie Smooth Cat with Colossal Boxing Talk, and in this video, I want to discuss Julian Jackson's career, because he's one of the type of fighters who gets called gets called a bum and all type of derogatory names. And me, I'm just wondering, how's a guy who has 61 fights, won 55, won 49 of the 55 by KO. All 6 losses were KO losses. Okay. But how is a guy with a record like that a bum? See, the thing is this. It's like a lot of newer fans, the casuals, as I call them, they like to discredit any fighter with a loss on their record. They like to discredit them unless it's one of their favorite fighters. So in the case of Julian Jackson, yes, he like I say, yes, he does have 6 KO losses. He does. But does that mean he wasn't a solid fighter? Absolutely not. No, that does not mean he wasn't a solid fighter, because he was a solid fighter. And Julian Jackson was the type, he took on whoever they would put across the ring from him. As far as I've heard, I've never heard of him ducking or dodging anybody. Even after his first fight with Gerald McClellan, even after McClellan gave him a beating, he came back and he wanted a rematch. And he fought the rematch again, and he had his moments. In both fights he had his moments, but McClellan's chin is basically was the difference in the fights, because Julian Jackson hurt McClellan in each fight, but with the but McClellan was able to take the shots better than Julian Jackson was able to take them. So that was Julian Jackson's demise, that he wasn't able to take McClellan's shots like McClellan was able to take his. But on the flip side, Julian Jackson is still widely regarded as one of the hardest punchers in boxing history. Also, he was the type of guy. I mean, I have a very profound respect for Julian Jackson, because he was a charitable guy. He goes to all type of boxing events. He looks out for younger kids, teaches them things, talks with them. Like he helps out with his 2 children that are fighters and things of that sort. So I mean, like I say, when I hear people badmouth certain fighters, I don't know. Maybe it's just because Julian was one of my favorites that I feel this way. But I just feel like a guy like Julian Jackson, I feel he was one of the best in the era of the 80s. He wasn't the best, but he was one of the best. He was among them. The guy, he lost a few big fights. He lost to Mike McCallum. He lost to Gerald McClellan and a few other guys. But the thing is this. Look at when Julian Jackson would lose a fight. Julian Jackson, he wasn't like how a lot of fighters are today. They lose and they'll, oh well, I gotta fight 3 tune-ups. He wasn't that type. Julian Jackson was the type, he would get right back in the ring with another contender, and he would keep fighting contenders and work his way right back to a title shot. So his resiliency is something that gets overlooked, because with a fighter, with a guy like him, it's hard to come back off of when you get knocked out. But for him to come back after being knocked out and to respond in the manner which he did, by knocking people out and putting on exciting fights for the fans, I mean, you have to tip your hat to a guy like that. He's the true definition of a throwback fighter, a guy who was ready to fight, ready and willing to fight any and everyone that you would have put in front of him. So, also that's like if you look at his record against other champions, a lot of people might diss it. He has out of 9 fights against other champions, he was 4-5. And of those 4 wins, 4 of them were by a knockout. Now, on the flip side, if you look at his record in title fights, he had 10 wins and 4 losses. And wait a minute, I'm gonna go back and about the 4 and 5. Okay, not against guys who were champions or former champions. He was 4 and 5. But in overall title fights, he was 10 and 4. And with 10, and out of those 10 wins, 9 of them were by a knockout. But I mean, let's go a little bit into Julian Jackson. His in-ring ability. He gets called a basic brawler, which is far from the truth. Julian Jackson was yes, he did. He came to fight, and so for the people who call him a guy who came in there ready to fight and battle, yes, he did come for a battle. But he had, believe me, you're not gonna go in there just because you have power, and you're not gonna knock out as many guys as he knocked out just on power alone. It takes skill, and people say he didn't have skills. He had great timing. He was a solid counterpuncher. He had a nice body attack. He also was a very when he would use his jab was very effective into walking guys into the type of shots that he wanted to land on you. So that's like I say, when I hear people say a guy like Julian Jackson is a bum, I mean, it has me scratching my head, honestly, because I literally wonder, how can you be a boxing fan and you call a fighter of Julian Jackson's caliber a bum because of he lost all 6 of his fights by a knockout. And I've yet to find anyone to give me a good explanation for why he's a bum. They just, he got knocked out, or he lost to Verno Phillips. Yes, he did get knocked out by Verno Phillips, but that was toward the tail end of his career. And for the people who mentioned the guys who he lost to at the end of his career, I mean, if you put Julian Jackson in his prime in the ring with those guys who he lost to toward the tail end of his career, I'm almost willing to bet you, I believe he would have obliterated him in his prime, flat out. But like I say, I'm not gonna make this video too long, so this will be the end of it. Hopefully you guys hit that like button for me. Go to the comments section, leave comments about what you thought of Julian Jackson. Just what you thought of him, or if you got a story of you meeting them or things like that, just leave comments in the comment section, and I definitely will get back to you. Also, go over to the main YouTube page and hit the subscribe button for us. And for the people who already subscribed, we appreciate you guys, as you already know. And without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So your contribution, commenting, liking our videos, sharing our videos, it is all appreciated. And yet again, this is the homie Smooth Cat with Colossal Boxing Talk. And